Okay, in today's video about QNT, I want to check out this move down right in here and tell you what are the possible scenarios for Quant and what might happen in this area from here going on. And a spoiler alert, I think there is nothing to be worried about in QNT. It's just a question of whether we are bullish at the moment or extremely bullish. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a great time with your family and loved ones. And before talking about the short-term structures, let me go on some higher time frames, maybe daily charts, and remind you why we are so optimistic in QNT. You see, I believe in this bull run back in 2021, we are having a solid 5 up into wave 1. This whole move down is just a correction structure for wave 2, and after it's over, and here's the deal, I think it's actually over already, we are going to have a huge move on the upside into wave 3 and 4 and 5. And here's a very important point. Usually wave 3 in Elliott waves is quite a big move, and I do think that this wave 3 is going to happen in the cycle. So for me, makes sense to say that in QNT we are at least going to set an all-time high and take the highest high around $450 in the cycle. And here's the thing, I don't believe that we are going to stop here. No, I believe we are going to go quite a bit more higher than that. So overall, we are 1000% bullish in QNT. Do not let anybody tell you otherwise. Now, let's zoom in this bull run back in 2021 and see what structures did we have. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And between these huge moves on the upside, we definitely had some corrective movements. And you might say, well, okay, these are not that huge. Well, not really. Let's measure them one by one. Let's start with this move down. This is about a 33% correction structure. What about this move, which happened in about a week? This is around a 52% move. What about this one? This one is about a 36% move on the downside. What about this thing? This is a 25% move. And then we had this one. This is, I would say, about, yeah, let's say 19%. And what about this final move right in here? This was also around a 27% corrective movement. So you see, we did actually have some decent moves on the downside in QNT back in the 2021 bull run. It's just the fact that these moves on the upside were so huge and magnificent that they kind of made these moves like nothing. Now, let's go on the live chart and see what is happening, and let's zoom in more. Okay, so how much is this correction exactly? This is about a 30% move. And like I showed you earlier in the previous examples, we definitely had more than a 30% correction structure in the previous bull run. So these moves on the downside, I would argue, are absolutely normal. And usually what really causes these moves are long leverages. You see, because we are in a bull run and we're just continuing to set higher highs and high lows, some people think that we're just going to constantly get big moves on the upside, and some of them will use an insane amount of leverages in their longs in order to make quite a bit of money. But once in a while, we get something like this, and this will destroy those people. That's why in any bull run, in my opinion, at least in the crypto space, I just don't think that we should use a whole lot of leverages. And if you are a new trader, meaning you have been a trader for, let's say, 2 or 3 years, I don't believe that you should even use a very small leverage at all. No, playing with leverage is extremely dangerous, and I guarantee you it will do more harm than good. Understood? Okay, now let's zoom in more and see what is happening. You see, in terms of Elliott waves, if you want to argue, for example, we're going to have our final bottom somewhere around here. Maybe this is like a very important support. Then, okay, you need to be able to find off of the lowest low a 5 wave up. This specific example is a normal 5 wave. The rules for it are we shouldn't have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4 and in any kind of impulse. Wave 3 should not be the smallest wave. This is a big no-no in Elliott waves. And for sub waves, you know it, if you are a regular viewer, we must have 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5. Okay, and for wave 2 and 4, we can have many different possibilities. Let's say sure ABC into 4 and the WXY into wave 2. Let's go on the live chart and see, can we find something like this in the smooth on the upside starting from the lowest low around $18. Now, I think you can argue that this move is actually a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Followed by that, this can, I guess, be a correction structure on the downside, potentially in form of an ABC zigzag. And here is the deal. If you want to argue that the bottom isn't in QNT's price chart, then I think you're going to say this is 1, this is 2. Let's put the end of our wave 3, 4, 5 in here. And followed by that, we may have another 1 and a 2, but on a lower degree relative to this 1 and 2. And we're going to get soon a decent move up in order to complete the subwaves for this orange wave 3, and then correction for another move up into wave 5. And even at that point, this orange 5 wave up, it's going to be into a larger degree wave 3, and then correction for another move up into wave 5. This is our bullish scenario in QNT, which suggests that the bottom is in. And if you want to say this is in play, I would argue soon, probably in the next 48 hours, you need to see some more decent moves on the upside. Can we have another scenario? Yes, I can tell you, maybe this whole move up is just going to be a correction structure in form of possibly a double zigzag, and after it's over, or maybe it's over already, we might get some more moves on the downside. The question is this thing going to be a very strong bearish sign? Absolutely not. In my opinion, if we get something like this, in order to even take this low, that's actually going to be a great buy opportunity for new investors that have missed the bottom right around these areas. And at that point, I'm gonna say, you know what, in QNT, who knows, maybe this thing is going to be a 1, 2, which means the next move is going to be absolutely magnificent into wave 3 and 4 and 5. And believe it or not, we can even just in this move set an all-time high and take the highest high around $450. I think that is definitely possible. So you see, one way or the other in QNT, whether we are going to get a move up or maybe down from the current point, we are absolutely 100% bullish. And in terms of classic TA, meaning support and resistances, if you remember in the previous video, when we were around these areas, I said, look, if in quant we take this low, at that point, we can say, well, okay, we're going to go down for a retest of this important level right in here. And so far, we definitely can say that this was a retest. What I do not want to see in quant is getting back to this level once more and then do some consolidating above here. Why is that? Because the more times that we touch a support or a resistance area, the weaker it gets. According to the classic TA, when we touch a level more than a couple of times, it actually adds quite a bit of validity to it. However, in my opinion, that is not true. And it does actually add quite a bit of validity to that level when we get a break of it. So what's the conclusion? If you see in the next couple of days in QNT, a move down in order to touch this level a couple of more times, at that point, I think you need to count on getting a break of this thing and continue this move down. However, I want you to, at that point, remember this. This whole move is just going to be a correction structure. I would argue potentially in form of, if I just take this one, an A, B, C zigzag, and after it's over, we are going to see some huge moves on the upside in quant. So let's have our final conclusion and wrap up today's video. In QNT, in the mid to long term, we are 1000% bullish, and I think this thing is just the beginning of the bull run, which ends in the cycle. Probably in the next couple of months, we are going to at least set an all-time high and take the highest high around $450, and most likely go quite a bit more higher than that. Now, in the previous couple of videos, I was saying maybe we are dealing with a series of 1-2s, and I still do believe that that scenario might actually be in play. And if something like that is going to happen, then okay, from here, you're going to see a move up in QNT in order to continue the uptrend. And we are going to say maybe even in the next 4 to 6 weeks, we can set an all-time high and take the highest high in quant. That scenario is that bullish, believe it or not. Now, what if we get a move down? At that point, we're just going to change some bullish scenarios a bit, but the overall scenario is going to remain bullish. This is a very important point, and I need you to fully understand. The question in here is not whether we are bullish or bearish. No, the question is, whether we are bullish or extremely bullish. So I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in QNT's chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.